study. Today I am going to teach you Unit 4 for class 9th, A Truly Beautiful Mind. In previous classes, I have already discussed this extract and I discussed about the life of a great and eminent or famous personality, Einstein. Today I continue my lecture. Paragraph 9. One of the famous papers of 1905 was Einstein's special theory of relativity, according to which time and distance are not absolute. The year of 1905 was a remarkable year in the field of science, in the field of invention. This year was the turning point year of Einstein's life. This year is really a great year in the field of science. This year Einstein gave his theory of relativity, his very important theory of relativity, according to which time and distance are not absolute. Through this theory, Einstein described a new definition of time and distance. And he said, time and distance are not absolute. Really, this statement is a wonderful statement of the world. And this theory of relativity come on the stage of the world. A great revolutionary theory. Indeed, two perfectly accurate clocks will not continue to show the same time. Einstein said, through this theory, if you fix two clocks perfectly accurate, but they are not show the same time, if they come together again after a journey, if one of them has been moving very fast relative to the other, it is really a wonderful for us when we think about time and distance. Einstein said here, if a two clock set perfectly, but they are not able to show the same time. What is the meaning of this? From this followed the world's most famous formula, which describes the relationship between mass and energy. And the other important invention of Einstein we found E equal to mc square. Once upon a time, anyone asked him about the theory of relativity, and Einstein defined theory of relativity in his own words. And he said, if you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, it seems like 2 minutes. And when you sit on a hot stove for 2 minutes, it seems like 2 hours. That's relativity. That is the theory of relativity. While Einstein was solving the most difficult problem in physics, his private life was unraveling. Unraveling means started to fail. Albert had wanted to marry Mileva Wright after finishing his studies, but his mother was against it. She thought Mileva, who was 3 years older than her son, was too old for him. She was also bothered by the Mileva's intelligence. She is a book like you, his mother said. Einstein put the wedding off. Through these lines, we find the struggle of Einstein's life. Einstein was not able to set himself in the marriage life. When he said to his mother about the Mileva, but his mother was against it. She was not ready. And she thought, Miss Einstein's mother thought, Mileva, who was 3 years older than her son, and she is like a book. So his mother said, Einstein, put the wedding off. Means you are not able to survive with Mileva. So put the wedding off. The pair finally married in January 1903. But in 1903, the pair, means Mileva or the Einstein, finally married and had 2 sons. But a few years later, the marriage faltered means become weak. Mileva meanwhile was losing her intellectual ambition and becoming an unhappy housewife. After years of constant fighting, the couple finally divorced in 1919. Einstein married his cousin Elsa the same year. In the 12th stanza, we see Einstein's new personal chapter coincide with his rise to world fame. In 1950, he had published his general theory of relativity, which provides a new interpretation of gravity. An eclipse of the sun in 1919 brought proof that it was accurate. Einstein has correctly calculated that in advance the extent to which the light from fixed stars would be deflected through the sun's gravitational field. The newspapers proclaimed his work as a scientific revolution. Einstein received the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. He was showered with honors and invitations from all over the world and lauded by the press. In the 12th or the 13th stanza, we find how Einstein achieved a great success in his life, and he also honored a very famous Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. He was a famous personality he became a famous personality of the world. So many honors and invitations from all over the world he found, and he lauded by the press also. He was able to give a new interpretation of gravity. He also described about the eclipse of the sun in 1919, brought proof that it was accurate. Einstein has correctly calculated in advance the extent to which the light from fixed stars would be deflected through the sun's gravitational field. These are the important inventions of science of Einstein. So Einstein became a famous personality through his theory of relativity. Today I want to stop my lecture and I suggest all the students to go through the book and you try to understand the achievement of Einstein. If you feel any type of problem, then you ask me and I try to solve your problem. And next class I will continue my lecture. Thank you.